Season 3 of Wondla picks up right where Season 2 dropped us off. No breathing room, no pause, just straight back into the chaos. Cadmus finally has his hands on the source, that glowing life energy he believes can save his people from the starvation creeping over New Attica. When the old world collapsed, Cadmus didn't just sit around. He rounded up as many survivors as he could and built New Attica, a sealed, high-tech safe haven where humans wouldn't get hunted by alien species and would have food, protection, and a chance to restart civilization. But all dreams come with cracks, and in New Attica the crack is huge. Their crops have stopped growing. Every day, food becomes more scarce. Cadmus knows that if something doesn't change soon, everything he built will starve right under him. But he believes the source can flip everything around, make the crops grow again, revive the soil, and bring life back to his entire settlement. 8 isn't buying any of it. She knows exactly what Cadmus is, the guy who does terrible things to get what he wants. She blames him for Eva's death. Cadmus tries to spin the story, saying he'll tell everyone that Eva was the one who led him to the source, that she'll be remembered as a hero forever. He tries to convince 8 to let the past die and help him shape the future. But 8's not letting any of that slide. She's going to expose him. She plans to walk straight into New Attica and tell every single person what Cadmus really did. Cadmus realizes she's not bluffing, so he shoves 8 out into the desert to die. But the desert doesn't kill her. 8 not only survives, she breaks her restraints, trudges through blistering sand for days, and reaches the outskirts of New Attica. The Sanctuary-borns who find her are shocked. She looks wrecked, exhausted, but insanely determined. She tells them she has to get inside the main city, but the gates are sealed from the inside. Cadmus locked everything down. When she reveals that Cadmus is the reason Eva died, her friends are horrified. 8 is done being pushed aside. She decides to take the riskiest route possible, climbing an insane mountain cliff to access a hidden sewer that leads into the city. It's dark, gross, steep, deadly, but 8 makes it. Inside New Attica, everything feels wrong. Cadmus's robots roam the streets, pushing people back into their homes like prisoners. Tonight's food distribution is cancelled, so the people are frustrated and scared. 2 little kids try to resist and the robot grabs them, ready to force them inside. That's when 8 steps out of the shadows. She moves so fast the robot barely reacts. She slices off its arms, stabs it down, and shuts it off. Then she gathers up the parts like trophies and brings them to her crew. With those parts, they hack into Cadmus's system. Suddenly all the security cameras are open. They can see everything Cadmus is doing. Cadmus notices the breach instantly. He escapes into the sewers using one of his vehicles. 8 chases him down and grabs him, but the Cadmus she caught glitches. It's a hologram. Cadmus built New Attica. The entire infrastructure is basically one giant system tied to his eyes and ears. He's been watching 8 this whole time. Every plan she makes, he's already calculated it. He claims he just needs more time to understand the source, study its power, and use it safely. He warns her to stop fighting and join him. But 8 knows the truth. If he wanted to save the crops, he would have done it already. The next morning, Cadmus gathers all of New Attica into the plaza. He promises a big announcement, but he lies straight to their faces. He tells them that their crops died because 8 and the Sanctuary-borns contaminated the plants. Then he drags 8 forward and hands her a script, expecting her to confess to something she never did. But 8 flips the script on him. She exposes Cadmus in front of the whole city. She tells everyone they've been living inside a giant lie. The sun they see isn't real. It's just a projection. The paradise they believe in? It's a prison made of screens and illusions. Cadmus has kept them blinded, treated them like kids, controlled every moment of their lives through a fantasy world he built. But the real world outside, the colors, the real sunlight, the real sky, that belongs to them, that's their home, that's their future. The people finally wake up. Cadmus is arrested and locked in a cell. But even from behind bars, he warns 8 that the aliens outside are tied to the source, and they won't let her destroy it. 8 tells him she isn't going to destroy the source. She's going to turn it into a weapon and eliminate every alien threatening humans. Far away, deep in the forest, something unexpected happens. Eva opens her eyes. She's alive. Her hair is now gray, and the forest around her looks dead since Cadmus ripped the source from its resting place. Eva blames herself for failing. She hears a cry and finds a tiny baby bird lost in the ruins. She gets the little one back to its mother, But then she's confronted by a hooded figure, someone who looks like Darius, but isn't. He introduces himself as Eris, Darius's identical twin. He tells Eva to keep fighting, to believe that the future can still be changed. The first step she needs to take is finding Queen Oho. The birds, grateful that Eva saved their baby, carry her through the forest to Render. They reunite, hugging like long-lost family. Eva tells him everything Eris said. Render takes her home to his village, a place suffering from famine and dying land. There, Eva meets Render's father, the leader of the cerulean species. She asks how she can meet Queen Oho, but he warns her that humans are being blamed for everything, for the dying forest, for the chaos. If she shows her face in Cerules, she'll be imprisoned immediately. Eva insists Queen Oho would never allow that, but the elder reveals the bigger problem. Chancellor Lorak is using this crisis to steal power from the queen. Cerules is on the edge of a political coup. Eva decides on the boldest plan she can think of, disguising herself as an alien. Render helps her, and together they approach the palace gates with urgent news for Queen Oho. The guards let them in. Inside the palace, Lorak is trying to convince Queen Oho that humans are the enemy, but she doesn't buy it. There's no proof. Lorak escalates things by claiming Eva personally led an attack with human machines. The queen defends Eva, reminding him that humans and aliens have lived peacefully before. Then Eva, still in her disguise, steps in and tells the court that Cadmus acted alone. He stole the source. He caused the forest to die. The rest of the humans are innocent. The queen and Lorak demand to know how she knows all of this, and Eva is forced to reveal herself. Lorak immediately accuses her of lying again. He says Eris hasn't been alive for over 150 years. Without listening to another word, he orders Eva arrested and uses the moment to finally overthrow Queen Oho. Both Eva and the queen are thrown into a cell. Inside the cell, Eva introduces her friends and explains everything. The queen shares her own history. Long ago, her father and his advisors, Eris and Darius, came to this planet. Eris believed the world had hope. Darius thought it was too poisoned to save. After their falling out, Eris left, promising to find a bridge between the world as it is and the world it could become. The queen wonders how Cadmus managed to steal the source at all. It should have been buried deep in the planet's core by her father. But Eva reveals the truth. The source never made it to the core. It landed at a sanctuary instead, which explains why growth on the planet has been so slow. Eva asks how they can return the source to its rightful place. The queen says that's a question for advisor Zen. They escape the cell thanks to Gargu squeezing through a tiny opening and unlocking the door from the outside. But the escape alarms go off, and guards swarm the hallway. Redimus, a loyal warrior and brother of Bishal, takes down the guards and guides them to advisor Zen. Zen tells them exactly what they feared. To heal the planet, the source has to be launched into the core again. But without the ancient world launcher, it's impossible. Eva suddenly remembers something. A massive thermal vent in New Attica that goes straight to the planet's core. They may not have a launcher, but they do have a direct path to where the source needs to go. Their new mission becomes clear. Break into New Attica, retrieve the source, find the thermal vent, and send the heart of the forest back into the core, all before Lorak's army reaches the human settlement. But before they can even start running, alarms explode across Sololus. Lorak finally realizes they escaped prison. Queen Oho rushes them into a hidden room at the far edge of the palace. She says there's a secret exit tunnel that only her family used back when things were actually peaceful. But when they get to the door, bad news hits hard. The exit is sealed shut, locked tight like it hasn't opened in centuries. Just then, one of the queen's loyal guards, Chip, shows up like a total tank. He doesn't even hesitate. He swings his giant fists and starts punching straight through the stone, ripping out chunks of the wall like it's papier-mâché. But they're running out of time. Lorak and his whole army burst into the room. Ratiz and Render instantly step forward, telling the rest to run while they hold Lorak back. At the last second, Chip breaks the exit open, and everyone slips out. Lorak takes a shot at them with his weapon, but advisor Zin steps right into the line of fire, blocking him. Zin turns to Eva and leaves her with one final warning. The source must always stay inside its casing. Never, ever touch it with bare hands. Outside, Lorak marches his royal army straight toward the human colony. There's no stopping him now. Eva and her team hit the road, moving as fast as they can. They need to reach New Attica first or everything's doomed. But Lorak's troops are far ahead since they marched non-stop with zero rest. Eva's heart sinks until she spots two familiar figures, Otto and Wondla. Eva practically tackles Otto with joy. With him, they can fly straight to New Attica. But Render breaks the moment, reminding her that Otto can't carry all of them. Wondla jumps in, saying they don't need to ride on Otto's back. They need a ship, and luckily he knows where one is, a scrapyard city called Lease. When they arrive in Lease, reality hits them like a punch. Lorak soldiers have plastered wanted posters everywhere. Eva and her entire crew, faces drawn in bold ink, with a massive reward of 1 million shellacs for anyone who kills them. They all scramble for disguises and slip into the town. Inside, things look worse. Lorak soldiers are forcing citizens to hand over their food, blaming everything on Queen Oho. They find Crunkle, the only guy who knows where the human airship is stored. But Crunkle is now fully working for Lorak, barking orders and snatching stuff from the villagers. When the people ask where their queen is, he lies, saying she abandoned them. Queen Oho clenches her fists, furious that he's dragging her father's legacy through the mud. She wants to confront him right there, but Ravender and Eva hold her back. They need him to lead them to the ship. They send Eva and Radis to trick Crunkle. They tell him Lorak sent them for the ship. He doesn't buy it for a second. Radis threatens him, but Crunkle is slippery. He shouts that Eva killed Riida's brother, Ritmus, and uses the shock to escape and summon every guard in the area. Guards swarm them instantly. Radis shoves Eva away, yelling for her to protect the queen while he holds off the soldiers. Eva grabs the queen and they barely escape into the streets. Render guides them to the house of his old friend Hostia, a guy who's part genius, part troublemaker. Hostia takes them to a massive lake called Lakis, where the human airship is hidden. But there's a catch. Dozens of guards surround it. Hostia thinks fast and comes up with a ridiculous but brilliant idea. He stuffs everyone into a huge gift box and pretends it's a present for the soldiers for their war efforts. By some miracle, they buy it. Hostia strolls past with the box, and Otto waddles behind him. Once inside, the crew slips out of the box and sneaks onto the ship. Inside, Eva hears a soft voice calling her name. It's Haley. She's been hiding here this whole time. Haley explains they can't fly the ship because the equilibrium inverter, the heart of the ship, is missing. Suddenly, Crunkle appears again with guards behind him. He reveals he stole the inverter and even worse, he's captured Reyes. He orders his men to seize them, but Otto jumps from behind and tackles Crunkle. The inverter slips from Crunkle's hands and drops straight into the lake. Without thinking, Otto dives in to retrieve it. Eva races to free Reyes while Vona and the others run to the cockpit. Otto finally swims back up with the inverter and passes it to Wondla, who plugs it into the ship. Just when Wondla tries to lift off, a soldier lassos the ship with a heavy rope. They can't move, so Queen Oho steps out alone. She walks right into the middle of the crowd and calls every citizen of Lease to gather. She announces that Lorak stole her throne, but she will not hide anymore. Her protectors are risking their lives to save them. She begs them to stand up, not for her, but for their freedom, their families, their futures. Two guards seize her immediately. The crowds freeze, then erupt. Lakins swarm the guards, pushing them back. They cut the rope holding down the ship, freeing it at last. Eva pulls Radis inside. The queen tells them she's staying to lead her people and orders Ritmus to go with Eva to make sure her mission succeeds. At the border of New Attica, Eva spots something unbelievable. Aid is alive. She goes alone to meet her. Aid is shocked to see Eva, but what comes next breaks Eva's heart. Aid captures her. Aid has taken full control of New Attica. She hacked Cadmus robots, built her own army, and is ready for war. She believes Eva is corrupted by aliens. Eva insists that a massive alien force is marching toward them and that if they don't restore the source to the core, everyone will die. But Aid coldly says the aliens are already here. Eva looks over the wall and sees not Lorak's troops, but harmless, unarmed aliens who came because of the source's call. Aid raises her gun and fires at a mother alien. Eva snaps, calling her the real monster. Eva reaches out telepathically and tells the peaceful aliens to go home. They obey instantly, shocking every human who sees it. But the moment they leave, Lorak's army arrives. War erupts. Aid's forces fire every weapon they have. Lorak's troops crush through the gates. Civilians evacuate as Eva and her team sneak inside using one of Cadmus' big machines that Wondla pilots. Lorax's titans corner them. Rhaetiz steps forward, sacrificing himself so the others can reach the source. He charges the titans, collapses a weakened roof, and crushes every creature, including himself. Eva falls to her knees, devastated. But then Rhaetiz walks in from behind like nothing happened. He somehow survived. Everyone crushes him in a hug. Eva storms straight to Cadmus' office. She demands the location of the source. Cadmus sighs, saying it's too late. Aid forced him to weaponize it. The source is now a bomb, Project Sunshine, designed to wipe out every alien on Earth. Eva is horrified. She tries to free him but can't. Cadmus accepts his fate and hands her the original Omni, a pod containing the full history of their people. He tells her she is the future. Eva climbs up to the chamber holding the source. She uses the Omni to access it. The structure collapses around her and she nearly falls to her death, until Otto saves her midair. She grabs the source and races for the thermal vent, but Lorax stops her. Render dives in, fighting Lorax one-on-one. He loses and Lorax escapes with the source. Eva tricks Lorax, telling him he can only control the power if he becomes one with it. When he sticks his hands in the core, he turns to stone instantly. Wondla and Rhythmus use a magnetic device to knock down Lorax's army, clearing the path. Render lifts Eva and flies her straight toward the vent, where a group of alien creatures guide her the rest of the way. But Aid appears, gun in hand. She threatens to shoot Eva if she comes one step closer. Eva ignores her and keeps walking. Aid pulls the trigger. Render leaps in front of her and takes the blast. Eva screams and runs to his dying body. He tells her not to let this change who she is. With his last breath, Render dies. Eva finally breaks through to Aid, who realizes everything she's done. Filled with grief, she takes the source from Eva, and she sacrifices herself. Aid dives into the shadows of the vent, placing the heart into the planet's core. Light bursts across the world, shooting deep underground. Grass sprouts, trees grow, the forest comes back to life, and Render awakens. The source heals him. Life is restored across the planet. Eva steps forward as the new chancellor under Queen Oho. Humans, aliens, Surliants, all of them now rebuild a world full of peace, color, and future. And that's how Wondla Season 3 closes its epic journey. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, make sure to hit subscribe and keep hanging out with us for more awesome stories.